It's the tush push. Tush push. It's the tush push. The tush push. And you know what's even better that the Giants did the tush push is that two starters got injured. Their starting center left the game after the play, didn't return, and also the tight end. I mean, both guys got hurt. Yeah, Daniel Bellinger and starter center John Michael Engelmeiner Schmitz. His name is my name too. Do. So they couldn't get the tush push, and people were busting Daniel Jones that, maybe he needs to do a little more leg work. That's why I saw some tweets. I was like, holy shit, they're bashing him. Bashing him, I tell you. I mean, oh my God. Talk about a shit show. Oh my God, that game. I mean, it was, well, I'm training, so I'm walking home and I watch a replay. Kenneth Walker III. Hey, good afternoon there, Josh. They didn't blow a whistle. Well, he went down and he wasn't really tackled. They're celebrating the Giants and he gets up and just starts running. Thank God the butt and his elbow went down, but they're talking about butt for a while. They're talking the buttocks. So that happens. And then, Isaiah Simmons tackles Geno Smith going out of bounds, which I thought was Geno Smith's knees were kind of the way he was going down. He kind of like bent his knees, which I didn't think Isaiah Simmons had anything to do with. So he thought McKinney did it, and he was getting all pissed off. And, he even got a penalty later. He was jawing with the bench. He thought it was a dirty play. I watched it. That wasn't a dirty play, dude. That was a tackle. But they go for it on their first series, the tush push. Can't get the first down. And then Drew Lock comes in. He leads him to a touchdown. He throws one to Noah Fant where, I talked to Harris. They're not tackling. I mean, Carl Banks said last week they're not tackling, and they're not tackling. And, oh, my God, and 6 penalties on defense. 2 interceptions, a pick 6, where Witherspoon, the first-round pick of the Seahawks from Illinois, who had been one of the last guys to sign, he looked like a superstar yesterday. He said they'd watched film and they knew where he was going to throw the ball, that Jones locks on his targets. When he got back to the bench, Brian Dable was screaming at him, and then actually when talking to him, when he flung away the tablet as he was talking to him. Yeah, they looked scared. Josh, they looked scared with everything. I mean, it was 14-3 at that point, so you thought a touchdown there for the Giants would have made it 14-10. And it did not happen. And 24-3, they ended up losing. It could have been even more. It felt like more. I mean, 11 sacks, which to me, it's almost incomprehensible, a team having 11 sacks. And they could have had a lot more. He was the leading rusher. They had on the offensive lineman. Who was the center? He was on after, what was it, Sean? I forget his name. The guy was on Manicast. And then he goes, he also does the Giants postgame. He was hilarious. He said at the end of the game, he said to Peyton, he goes, man, I haven't seen a beating like this by the Seahawks since the Super Bowl. And then Peyton goes, well, I guess it's time to go. Well, if it wasn't before, now it's your time to go. And I just was like laughing at my ass off. I mean, they had nothing to talk about. They were showing pictures of Eli that he couldn't swim. They were showing, Eli and Peyton doing something. I mean, they had nothing to talk about. It wasn't a football game anymore. I mean, the reactions of the fans when that pick 6, it was a guy just put his hand through his bald head, and some young guys were like, everybody's like, what the fuck is going on here? I mean, Daniel Jones thought, 4 years, $160 million, we can get out of the contract after next year. And they play Miami this week, and they play Buffalo on Sunday Night Football, and Daniel Jones is now 1-12 in primetime games. What's he now, 0-7 on Monday Night Football? 0-6 at home? 1-12 in primetime games. Now, Andy Dalton second, 6 wins, 21 losses. 1-12. Jesus Christ. Talk about, you know what? It takes some of the pressure off the Jets. I mean, because the Giants now look like, they make the playoffs, and someone said that they shouldn't give the coach of the year to a guy who beats his over-under the previous season. That's why, just because he beats his over-under for wins in the season doesn't mean he should be coach of the year. And everybody's saying, well, Daboll's coach of the year. They won a playoff game last year. And now they're going backwards. I mean, whew, that was a hot pile of shit. And Jamal Adams, I can't stand that he has the moniker Prez because that just bothers me. He's just this arrogant prick. So he has 2 tackles, almost a sack, 9 plays, and then he gets hit in the head when Jones tried to leap over him. He's in la-la land. He's screaming at a physician, a non-affiliated NFL, I guess he's a guy who watches for head injuries, and he's screaming at the guy that he wants to go back in the game. I'm like, dude, really? I mean, you got up, you were wobbling, but 9 plays he lasted after, first game in 385 days? Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't want anybody to get head injuries, but, he's kind of a douche. I'm not a fan. Kind of like the Mets, successful previous season, then look incompetent this season. Yeah, but the Mets won 101 games. And also, they did lose in the wild card to San Diego. Yes, good call there, Josh. Good, what's the analogy right there? Is that, or simile, whatever you want to call it? It was very nice. Very, very circuitous. Circuitous, is that the word you want to use? It's very nice. I like that, Josh. You're quite wonderful. So the Giants at home this season have been outscored 64-3, 6 turnovers and 18 sacks given up. For the season, they've been outscored 122-46, and their minus 76 point differential is the worst in the league by 14 points. So congrats, you're the worst in the league. Congrats. They started 7-2 last season. They're now 4-9-1 their last 14 games. They've been outscored 382-259, so they've only been outscored by 123 points in those 14 games. Wow. 100. Wait, no, I'm sorry. They've only been outscored, 359, 123 points. They've started at least 1-5 in 4 of the last 6 seasons. They've been outscored 77-9 in the first halves of the season. And think about it. They played Thursday Night Football. They had 11 days to prepare for this fucking game. And this is the turd they dropped. 11 days. The offensive line, Neal, what? Dude, I know they didn't have Andrew Thomas, but good God, Neal was a top 10 draft. Wasn't he a first-round draft pick out of Alabama? He is lost out there, folks. Lost, I tell you. I mean, Saquon's on the sidelines, and I don't like those. I'm all for diversity, but they look like somebody threw something together and threw something against the wall and made it try to work, and it doesn't work. Yeah. And Daniel Jones, Giants 3 losses by combined 94-15 have all come in nationally televised primetime games. Okay, and now Daniel Jones, so they came back in the Cardinals week 2. In that half, Jones threw 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. In the other 7 halves of football, 14 quarters, Jones has 0 touchdowns, 8 turnovers, and he's been sacked 21 times. 1-12, he is a .077 winning percentage, lowest of any quarterback with a minimum of 10 starts since the 1970 merger. Worst primetime records. Jones 1-12, .077. Andy Dalton 6 wins, 21 losses, 222. Jeff George 5 wins, 17 losses, 227. And Ken Anderson 3-10. 1-12. Yeah. Devin Weatherspoon, the number 7 pick of the draft, fighting Illini, 97-yard pick 6, 2 sacks, and 10 tackles. Tied a team record with 11 sacks. The all-time record belongs to the Eagles, 14-52. The Giants averaged 3.4 yards per play. Bobby Wagner, 17 tackles and 2 sacks for Seattle. Jesus Christ. And Geno Smith had to throw for only 110 yards. I mean, good God. Wow. I mean, ugly. And Arik Armstead for San Francisco said, Daniel Jones, I'm so disappointed in you. Why would you throw the ball so quick versus us and let these people have a career day? Why weren't we deserving? I'm never even making fun of them, other teams. I mean, that's good God. Yeah. Well, no, are you talking about I saw him throw the tablet. That was after the pick 6. Now, listen, I think he was rattled and at that point of the game, he has really regressed. I mean, yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I saw everything, man. Brian Dable's like, hey, throw it here, and easier said than done. I mean, and he didn't take him out to the very end. I thought he kept him in way too long. And there could have been like 15 sacks because he got away from a couple tackles that you were like, okay, a sack's coming here, and it didn't happen. You were like, Jesus. Yeah, and players like, we have to be better. Yeah, of course. McKinney said, I don't care what everybody else is saying. I don't have the answers. Darren Waller said, and I can't tell anybody else how to do their job. All I can do is what I'm supposed to do and go out there and try to execute. Well, they didn't. So they're 64-3-2 home games. Only 75 Chargers scored fewer points, 0, in their first 2 home games. Yeah, Witherspoon said that, You know, he ran basically a return route, so I jumped it. He threw the ball and just tried to get to the ball. That was really my whole mindset. Yeah.